You've done it. You have your first property and you're ready to price it and wondering what you could list it for. Whether it's for a house hack or multifamily, pricing your rentals the right way is super important. We're going to focus on long-term rentals. We'll go over rental comparisons, how to raise rent, and when to lower it. This information will be beneficial if you are interested in getting your first rental, purchasing a property with tenants already in place, or where the units are vacant. You'll want to know this information for any lease renewals too. But before we get into that, I really want to thank our sponsor for today's episode, Steadily. Securing insurance for your rental property shouldn't be complicated or time-consuming, especially for real estate investors who are trying to close on a property quickly. Traditional insurance companies often demand long lead times and tedious paper forms, creating a slow and manual process. You do need insurance that works like the other modern tools you rely on as real estate investors. Enter Steadily.com, your solution for fast and affordable landlord insurance. Available online 24/7 with just a few clicks. Say goodbye to the hassle of waiting and get next day coverage that takes only minutes to obtain, all from the convenience of your phone. Steadily is not just an insurance provider. They were founded by landlords who created insurance products tailored to the unique needs of this industry. It's their sole focus, and that's why landlords nationwide consistently rate them 4.8 out of 5 stars. Whether you're managing single-family properties, overseeing short-term rentals, or handling apartment buildings and beyond, Steadily.com can secure the best coverage at the best price for your real estate investments. Discover how Steadily can save you both time and money on your rental property insurance. Visit Steadily.com for a commitment-free quote tailored to your needs today. Now let's jump into some actionable items you can do to price your rentals the right way. Before you are ready to actually list your apartment or to offer a lease renewal, you should be watching your market. What are the new listings that are coming up? Scroll through different websites like Zillow for Rent, apartments.com, Googling apartments for rent in your town, and even on Facebook Marketplace. Watch to see what the units look like, the bed bath count, the rental amount, amenities, the utilities included, and the days the listing is up. This is a lot of time scrolling, but if you keep on it every other day, there won't be times where you're bogged down with seeing these listings. To take advantage, start a spreadsheet that has this information included on it. If you notice a listing is taken down, document how many days it was on market. This will really help you gauge if the price point is right, or if it's sitting too long, it's probably priced too high. Look at the amenities too, because that could also be an indicator. Maybe the property only has off-street parking and every other listing is priced the same way that has a driveway. We mentioned amenities and they can play a large role in the rent. Here are some of the amenities you should be considering when pricing your rental if they will add a value or take away from the value. Laundry. Is there a washer dryer hookup in your actual unit, or maybe it's in the building? Is it coin operated? Are the washer and dryer supplied, or can they hook up their own? Parking. So is there off-street parking? Is there a garage? Is there no parking where they have to park on the street? Appliances. What appliances are included? Do they have a dishwasher or even a hookup for a dishwasher? A pool. Is there a pool? So this could be more common for single-family homes or large multifamily complexes. Another thing too, since we mentioned Steadily, our insurance provider, make sure to get a quote for your insurance policy before renting a property with a pool because it could increase your premium. Okay, next, air conditioning. Believe it or not, every unit in New York State does not have air conditioning, and it's not super common for apartments to have it. So maybe that could be the same for your market too. Okay, extra space such as an office or a small craft room, something like that other units don't have, could increase the value. Attic or basement, the tenant can actually use maybe for storage. And then the yard. Is there any yard at all? Is it fenced in or just open where you're basically right next to your neighbor? Then are there HOA amenities like a playground or a gym that could add value? There are also amenities that you should be charging extra for. This means asking your basic rent based on the market value, but then adding options for them to add on. For example, if your property only has a small driveway that maybe can only fit one car through it, but it's a duplex and there's 2 units, then give one unit the exclusive use of the driveway by charging the parking fee. This also eliminates tenant disputes when one tenant is sleeping in, but their car is parked closest to the road, and the other tenant needs to get their car out, but it's blocked. After studying the market and comparing amenities, it's time to get into using rent estimating software to compare your data and the property you're going to be renting out. One thing to remember is that you want your rent amount to be in the sweet spot. This is where you don't want your rent to be too high and no one is willing to pay the amount, or it will really significantly decrease your pool of tenants. Even if you can still cash flow, great, pricing your unit lower than market rent could cause you to get in kind of an overdose of the wrong pool of tenants. Plus, having too many people interested in your apartment because it's priced so low, it's going to eat up a lot of your time trying to pre-screen all those people, complete showings, and filtering through applications. If your expenses, such as property taxes or HOA fees or even insurance, end up increasing over the next couple of years, which most likely will happen, this means you'll need to increase your rent to maintain the same cash flow. If you have a tenant that got a super cheap deal on the rent that you priced it at, because your rental was priced too low, they may not be willing to renew or cannot afford to renew because they're always looking for that cheap deal. At the end of this video, I'm going to tell you a little insight of ways that you can actually increase rent without your tenant feeling like you are gouging them. Anyways, if your expenses do increase, don't forget you can keep your rent lower and your tenants happy when you save on monthly expenses. You can save money on things like your insurance premiums by working with investor-friendly companies like Steadily. This is part of your asset management of your property. Every year you should be reviewing your insurance premiums. Now that it's time to list your apartment, you'll want to use BiggerPockets Rent Estimator to pull comparables in your area and what they rented for. So you're going to go to biggerpockets.com, find the rent estimator, and just plug in the property address of the property that you're purchasing or you're looking to rent out. Then you can add the bedroom and bathroom count of your unit. You'll be able to click on the listings to see how the other properties compare to yours. There might be photos from the listing. It will tell you the bed bath count. And in the photos, you'll be able to see comparable finishes, such as, is it a big kitchen? Is there, quartz countertops, things like that may differ from yours. Compare this information with your own data that you collected from continuously watching new rentals. If you have a local agent in the area, you can ask them to pull comparables in your area for rental listings that were put on the MLS. The agent you use to buy the property could help you with this. Make sure the rent they recommend is from actual data and not just their opinion, especially if this is an agent that doesn't lease rental properties or isn't an investor themselves. If you inherited tenants at the purchase of your property or already have tenants you put in place, there will be a time when you offer a lease renewal. This should be done before the lease expires. Some states like New York have laws when you can actually offer an increase in rent. For example, if a tenant has lived in a property for over 1 year, you have to give them a 60 days notice. If they live there for 2 or more years, then it is a 90 days notice. It is important to know these rules for your state. I recommend checking out a local landlord class that goes over these. Search your market's housing organizations that offer free or low-cost landlord classes. In Buffalo, New York, the organizations are Belmont, which is a Section 8 housing provider for the area, and Home NY. Knowing the laws and regulations are also important for pricing your rental. You need to know if there are any laws regarding rent control, including on increases. Some markets actually cap how much you can increase the rent by at renewal, and this could be a percentage. To summarize, here are some market laws and regulations you need to consider and know before pricing your rental. The first is rent control. The second, is there a cap on how much you can increase the rent by? And third, when can you actually increase the rent? I'm going to tell you straight out that I cannot stand confrontation, and I do everything to avoid it. If it is going to be a large increase, which is common if you inherited tenants, I provide a letter that shows comparable properties for rent and what the rent is in that area. In the letter, I show what the rent is increasing to and that it is market rent by providing the comparables. This shows the tenant that if they were not to renew, they would be paying the same price or sometimes even more. Plus, moving costs and the hassle of moving is a time expense. I do offer some residents a slow increase over time, almost like a a stepping stone or steps to get to the actual market value. If you don't already attend a local meetup or have a network of investors in your area, then find some. They will be a great resource for helping you price your rental. You can also call apartment complexes in the area to ask what they charge for rent, even if they don't have any listed. Thank you so much for watching. I hope that you have some clarity on how to price rentals the right way. What questions do you still have? Do you have a story about raising or lowering tenant rent? Let us know in the comments below. You can also find me at BiggerPockets.com by searching Ashley Kehr. You can find me in the Real Estate Rookie Facebook group. And also make sure to check out the Real Estate Rookie podcast and subscribe to the Real Estate Rookie YouTube. See you guys next time.